Hi there. Welcome back. I know it's been about a week since I did a video. I have been just slammed. I'm on deadline for my next book, and my editor needs it from me in like 3 days, and I still have about 250 pages that I have to edit. Ah, this is the life of a writer. That's all fiction, by the way, so that's not what this channel's about. Um, I was not going to do a video tonight. I was actually getting ready to go downstairs and start cooking dinner and cleaning the kitchen up. And I had this impulse to do a reading. And I hope you like it. It's a really good one. I'm going to get to it very quickly. This is going to be one of those videos where I'm on here very long because I have got to get down there and cook. But I did want to give you a quick update. I actually had a reading with Linda G today. Um, love her. It was so awesome. I had totally spaced that my appointment with her was today. I knew I had a reading with her this month. I forgot that it was today, and she calls and she's like, "It's Linda." I go, "Linda." She was Linda G. I was like, "Oh, that's today." It was a great reading. She helped me with EXO because EXO there's a story there. I'm not going to get too much into detail about it, but apparently this is an entity that's been with me since, as she put it, the beginning. This is not a new entity, and it's attached itself to me since I was a little girl, and it was attached to my mom. And she said that there's a deep, and I don't have a problem revealing this to you, by the way. I know some people, their readings are very personal, and hey, I'm out here on the public forum. My life's going to be an open book at this point. But she said that there's a deep seated sadness within me, and there is. She hit the nail on the head. So much about my childhood and the kind of life that I have had, about my mom, my dad, etc. Okay, so she said that there's this deep-seated sadness that's been within me, and that's what this thing was attracted to. And it's not very happy that I am finding the light and ascending and taking this route of spirituality now, and it's fighting back. If you want to put it that way, it's fighting back. It didn't want to leave, but she gave me some information on some things I could do, and I went and I did them today. I got the holy water and everything. I got some salt, and this entity, from what I can tell, is now gone. However, I found out that it wasn't just one entity that I had attached to me. I think there's two, and I think the other one is still around because my pendulum, when I sat down tonight, told me that there's still one here. So I guess there were two. There was an XO, and then there was another one. And I won't give you how I refer to him because I don't want to give him any more power than he already has. And I said, how is he still here? When I did all this stuff today, staging and holy water and blessing and putting up the salt the barrier and all of this, and the pendulum spelled out on my chart, he strong. And I said, okay, then what do I need to do to get rid of him? And believe it or not, my pendulum said, you got to contact Linda G. So I was like, ugh. So here we go again. So that's my story about all of the update with EXO. I did want to show you a couple of cards. I had some comments that came through on my last video, I think it was, and one of them kind of struck me kind of funny, and I thought, I'm going to show this. I had a really good conversation in the comments with a gal, and uh, I had showed my picture of Archangel Michael, that this was how he had appeared to me in my dream that I described in I guess it was my last video. I keep thinking it was longer ago than that, but I think it was the last one. And he wasn't wearing the suit, and he wasn't wearing these, he didn't have his angel wings with him, but the face and the hair, dead on, and just dead on. This is another one of my guides, Lord Kutumi, and it's pronounced Kutumi, like Kutumi, but you say it fast, Kutumi. He's another one of my guides, and just as a reference point, there are artists who channel directly from these entities to get these images, and This, if you look up who this guy was in real life, this looks remarkably similar to who he was in real life. There are pictures of him online. And there's another artist who drew an image of him. And again, it looked very similar to this image that I'm holding up now. This one's a little more handsome. I think there was a little handsome sauce put on this drawing, which I'm totally fine with. But then this was how Archangel Michael wanted this artist to channel how he looked. So before I saw Archangel Michael in my dream, I envisioned him as this dark-haired guy. And I have this deck called the Tarot de la Nuit, which is a little gothic, a little vampire-ish. And there's a card in this deck. It's the Emperor card. And this, ooh la la, is how I saw Archangel Michael. There we go. Get rid of that glare. Woo! I got this deck specifically for this card. As a romance author, I write romance. I'm constantly looking for images of male figures who are very attractive, and this caught my eye as I was looking through some images. And I write paranormal romance in addition to contemporary romance in my other life. And that picture, that was awesome, and I thought, I like that. This is another card in the deck. Just, if you're a tarot enthusiast and you're just looking for a deck with some really nice pictures of dudes, I recommend this deck. This is the Lover's card. Again, very vampirish and gothic. I like the guy. I thought it was a very emotive picture. And very Game of Thrones here. Okay, Knight of Swords. Very Game of Thrones-ish. This one doesn't really do much for me, but I know there's some people out there that love guys with long blonde hair. And then if you're looking for a good villain, here's a good villain image. And then I love the Death card in every single deck. I love the death. Some people don't like it. I love the Death card because it's a card of transformation. So I really tune in on the Death card in every deck, and I love that. So anyway, enough of that. Okay, I know it's been 7 minutes. We're going to get to this reading. All right, there's the update. I said that I was going to show that picture of my what I thought Michael looked like before I saw what he really looked like, and so I wanted to follow through on that. All right, here's the reading. This is a Trump reading. Okay, I think you're going to like the outcome. Like, you can't see all the cards up here, but you're going to like it. Let's get to this. It's quick, it's dirty, it's down. Let's rock. I have a lot of energy today. Don't ask me why. Center of the reading, and I have some notes here. I'm going to be honest. I scribbled these fast, and we're going to go through them because it was coming to me super fast. In the center of the reading, again, this is Donald Trump, because this is going to be interesting. The Wheel of Fortune. What I got was this literally just said, screamed to me, time's up. Karmic debt has come due. It's time to pay the bill. Time has run out. The time has come. It was just like boom, boom, boom. This is all about, it's done. The time is here and you have to pay, buddy. Okay. This was the crossing energy on that card. Okay, the Eight of Swords. When I turned this card over, the first thing that I noticed was this woman inside the bubble. Okay. This is a bubble. These swords are piercing this bubble so that it will pop and she can be free. These are the women who are victimized as little girls by Donald Trump and the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring project. These men are so vile. I wrote down women who have been locked in silence since their childhoods. The swords are about to pop the bubble, so these women will finally be free to speak their truth. Okay. Oops, a card stuck to my elbow. Below the reading, little girls are all over this reading, by the way. It was like girl, 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 little girl. This is a young girl. It's it's the it's the 9 of coins, and typically this is your lap of luxury card. This is your self-made woman card. This is typically a happy card. It's a good card to get. Not in this reading. What I wrote down was young women and innocence lost. She's holding a dove here. Innocence has been lost. There's flowers all around this card. These are girls who were virgins who were deflowered by Donald Trump. And there's been stories that he and Epstein fought over a specific girl. I think it might be that 13-year-old girl who's tried to sue him twice and backed out because she was afraid for her life. But this represents the women that who, when they were little girls, were deflowered, their virginity was taken from them by Donald Trump and this circle of people. There's also a story. There's been some reports that this island that Epstein owned, where he had this weird, round temple-like building. They're saying that was used for ceremonial. How do I say this? Taking a virginity against these little girls' wills. They would take these little girls to this place, and apparently they would drug them and bind them to whatever, and then they would take their virginity in like some mass ceremonial kind of bacchanalian thing. So that's what this card represents. The loss of virginity, loss of innocence from these little girls to Trump and his nasty friends. In the past, we have, again, more little girls, more victims, and it's all about money. Power and money and influence was what did this to these little girls, okay? These victims. This has a very Handmaid's Tale feeling to it. I don't watch the Handmaid's Tale. Is it Handmaid or Handmaiden? We don't have Netflix anymore. We got rid of it. Big mistake. I think that was on Netflix. Anyway, that's what this card, as soon as I turned it over, that's what it reminded me of. These women who have to be silent. Their silence was bought through money and threats. And I think that there were reports that some of these women actually were killed. And maybe it was rumors, or maybe that was just what was used to keep the others quiet. But they'd say, "Hey, you don't want to end up like Mary Jane, who had a tragic accident, do you? That's what we can do to you if you open your mouth." So again, very Handmaid's Tale feeling here. I wrote, money and power kept these girls silent. Also, this is a card about planting seeds. The Seven of Coins is about harvest. It's like you've planted the seeds, now it's time for the harvest. And you're wanting to look over the fruits of your, what you've sown and see what kind of fruit did I grow here? And that's this tree in the background. And what I got from this is that it's time to reap what these men have sown. They have planted poisonous seeds, and it's time for them to eat the poisonous fruit. Over the reading, we have the Ten of Wands. Again, I don't read traditionally, so a lot of these cards, I read very intuitively, and I pick up thoughts as these cards are laid down. Typically, this is a card of burden. And it does mean that here, but it's kind of reverse. This is the burden that these women have carried. The women have carried this burden, but now these wands are being lifted off their backs. I've pulled this card before with these Trump readings, and it's meant the same exact thing in all the readings I've done so far on this issue. There's a light shining down the center here and shining on this person who's hunched over. These wands are being lifted off the backs of these women, and the light is shining down on them and allowing them to rise up and speak the truth. The burden is being taken off their backs. Okay? In the near future, and this is a card that constantly, it's been coming up in every reading I do on Trump here recently. It's the Six of Cups. And again, it typically means it's typically a good card, traditionally. But that's not how it comes up in my readings for Trump. It's the little girls. It can be the immigrant children or the little girls. That's what this card usually means in a Trump reading for me. And in this case, it means the little girls. And it's these victims will be front and center in Trump world in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, they're going to be boom in his face in 4 to 6 weeks. And boom, they are in his face. This is the card that I typically refer to as the self card in this spread. It's a Celtic cross. And as you can tell, this is a woman with a sword. This is the Queen of Swords. Trump isn't a queen and he's not a sword. For this to land in the position of the self for Donald Trump means that women are going to be in his face. And they're going to be speaking the truth. This is what he can expect. I actually wrote, women wielding the sword of truth, and angels in light are on their side. She's got a wing. She's got wings, and then there's light coming in here. And these are angels and light coming in strong on the backs of these women who are going to be in Trump's face. This card kind of threw me a little bit. There was a lot that I got for this. This card comes in the environment position. It's temperament. And my pendulum, what I do is I hold my pendulum over the cards and I start to talk. And as I start talking and I'm saying things, if my pendulum swings front to back, it's saying, yes, that's what this card means. And then what I'll do is I'll say, is there anything else that you want me to get from this card? And if it goes like this, that means I'm done with this card. If it goes like this, it means you got to keep going. There's more here. This pendulum just kept swinging front to back. And it was like there's tons in this card. So let's just start at the top. This means the divine feminine is bringing balance back to the environment around Trump, like to the White House, to the government. Okay? This card was set into motion. Everything that's going to take place with this card, what this card signifies, was set into motion by the lunar eclipse on the 16th and 17th of July. Okay, so we're 2 weeks into this process now. This is Donald Trump's hair, these orange flames. And I felt like she was throwing him out. This woman's coming in and she's throwing Donald Trump out, and she's bringing up calm water. There's water in this circle down here. It's swooping back up to take the place of Donald Trump's hair. So we're getting calm waters being brought into play here. We have a lot of heart symbolism. You can see the shape of a heart, both with her wing and the rainbow and with the moon and the wing and the rainbow. So, what was it? Heart shape. It says bringing in love. This card is bringing in love to this world, and there's more to it than that. I'll get to that in a minute. This card is also asking for patience. It's wanting us to be patient as this process plays out. There's so much where we live in this world of instantly. I want it now. You've got the drive-through and you got your phone on you all the time. Everything is at right at their fingertips. This card is saying, no, you've got to be patient. Let this play out. Talking, and this goes back. I'll digress here in a minute, just for a brief moment about Bob Mueller's testimony. But I wanted to finish this card first. Let's see if there's anything else. She's also clearing the smoke screens. There's a lot of smoke rising up here. This card is this divine feminine is clearing out all of the smoke screens that Donald Trump has been throwing up around his lies to keep things that he's doing hidden and his crimes hidden. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to do about this card is what Spirit told me with my pendulum was that it wants us to send love and light and strength to these women. And so if we can just take a moment and all of us just very quickly just think, please, Archangel Michael and all of the guides and angels, Jesus, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, please send love and light and blessings to these women. Please send them strength so that they can say their truth and speak their truth without fear of consequences, without fear for their lives. Please give them strength and numbers to come forward and speak their truth and unburden themselves from all that has been done to them so that they can go forward in life free and clear and unburdened. Okay, all of us, please keep these women in your minds and in your hearts over the next several weeks. What they're going through is very hard. They're being threatened. They're receiving death threats. It's hard to come forward and speak about what happened to them. So please, everybody, just send them love and light. In the next position, we have hopes and fears. We get what's called the Palace of Swords. This deck, which is the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti, has 4 extra cards in it. It has a Palace of Swords, of coins, wands, all that, cups. If you hear my cats fighting, it's that time of night that they start to fight. So I apologize in advance. This card is all about the truth. Donald Trump hopes that the truth won't come out, but he fears that it will. And being that this card came up in this position, it will come out. And this card also says there's going to be a lot of court cases. A lot of court cases. And then last but not least is the final outcome, the Tower. I can't tell you how long it's been since I got the Tower in a final outcome position for Donald Trump. It means exactly what you think it means. The lightning has struck. The light is coming in to shine the truth on the lies. The Tower is falling. It's over. It's done. What I got was, it's over. He's done. Boom. Presidency, everything, the Trump name, it's done. But you have to have patience to let this play out, okay? It's really important to remember why this is happening. And it's happening because the Earth is ascending right now. This planet is receiving an enormous amount of light every day. And there's days like the lunar eclipse, the full moon and lunar eclipse that happened, a ton of light came in. And it's raising the vibration of this planet. And Trump has a key responsibility in helping us raise our vibrations as human beings so that we can rise up with this planet. As it ascends, we have to ascend or we won't be here anymore. Okay, anything that does not ascend as the planet does will be gone. Okay, so it's important. And that's his role. He's waking us up. His actions are helping us see what we need to be in this new world. That we cannot tolerate this. That we cannot tolerate the lies and the deceit. But if he's pushed out of office too soon, the lesson won't be learned. It has to get really bad and really ugly to awaken as many people as possible. And it's unfortunate that it's come to that, but that's the way it has to be. So we can't wish him dead. We can't say, I wish he would die. Again, what I told you in the last video is that's just going to hurt you. That hurts your ascension, not his. He's not going to ascend. And if you watch my last video, you know that. He's made his choice, and he has chosen not just to be with the devil, he has chosen to be the devil. And his ascension is just not going to happen. So you have to be very careful, okay, when you speak about him and what you want to see happen to him. You have to be very careful that you use words that don't bring you down and don't keep you from rising up. So again, be patient. Let this play out. The longer he's in office, I hate saying this because I want him gone as much as everybody else does, okay? But the longer he's in office, the more people are going to see who he truly is. And we're looking to his supporters. We want to get as many of his supporters to see this as possible so that they can ascend too. We want to help these people out from the Kool-Aid that they've drunk, sent them down into Trump world. My brother's one of them, but there's nothing I can do. My brother has to see it for himself, and the only way he's going to see it is for Trump to stay in office. There's one card I got as a qualifier for that, and it was the Five of Swords. And what I picked up from this card, I didn't even write it down. It came through so loud and clear, was that he's not going to go without a fight. He is going to fight this as hard as he can. And in doing so, he's going to rile up his base. And there's going to be fighting. There will be fighting because of this fall. I asked the pendulum, will this delay his removal from office? And I got a yes. And I said, okay, is it going to delay for months? No. Will it delay his removal from office for weeks? No. I said, so for days? Yes. So we're going to have a period when we see the tower actually falling, and it's like he's over, he's done. There's going to be some days there where he's going to fight, and he's going to rile people up, and he's going to cause some discord, but then he's going to be gone. And I'm still getting the end of August. I asked again today, and I said, do you still see him leaving at the end of August? And it said yes. My pendulum told me yes. Again, that's a changeable date, and it moves constantly. It used to be May, and then it was July, and then it was September, and now it's August. Every day it could change. So we just have to send love and light and help these people move on, like these victims, come forward and speak their truth. Because the more who do that, the faster they do it, the faster he's removed, the faster the truth comes out. And we also have to be sending love and light to the members of Congress, Nadler, Cummings, Pelosi, Adam Schiff. All right. And on that note, and I wanted to do this tarot reading so that if you don't want to stick around, you can leave now. I'm going to just take a couple of quick minutes and talk about the Muller reading, the Muller testimony last week. So many people were so disappointed about that testimony. And I know other readers have come out and spoken to this. And I want to put my voice to what they've said. I watched the testimony, and I was a little bit discontented as well. And then I thought about it that night after it was all over, and I thought, you know what? A lot came out. He actually said it's a crime. When Adam Schiff was summarizing what the findings were in their the Intelligence Committee testimony, and as he was talking and he was saying it's unethical, Bob Mueller cut in and said, and it's a crime. We all know that Adam Schiff was talking about Donald Trump. So for Bob Mueller to interject, it's a crime, Bob Mueller, who picks his words very, very carefully, and he knew that Adam Schiff was referring to Donald Trump, he was saying that Donald Trump committed a crime. And he said it earlier in the judicial testimony that he would have charged, that he chooses his words very carefully. And he said I think his name was Buck, that Republican guy, when he was saying, so you would charge him after he left office? If you replay that, if you haven't listened to that yet and you haven't replayed it, really listen to what was said. The Republican actually started to say you would charge Trump with a crime after he left office. He was saying something to that effect, and then he changed it to just you could after a president left office. And Bob Mueller said yes, and Buck, I think that was his name, took him aback a little bit. Like, what? You would charge him? And Bob Mueller is very, yes, very clear-eyed, and looked at him and said yes. So Bob Mueller was not there to be a reality TV star who knew how to act. He was there to provide clarity on the facts, and he came forward. This was a step. This was one step that the Democrats needed to take toward impeaching and toward getting the truth out. They are being very methodical. And the reason for that is if they impeach and lose, if they just hastily go in on emotion and impeach, first of all, they don't have the support for it to go through. They didn't. I think they do now. As of now, at least from the Democrats. but it would have died in the Senate. And then, whoops, well, it's over. All done. And then we would be stuck. The fact that Pelosi has been pushing for them to take their time is smart. And it's based on we need facts. And she knows something. And everybody that I watch says that she knows something, and I think she knows something. There is something bigger happening, and she is aware of it, and we are not. And that's why she doesn't want to impeach. And because she thinks that what is going on is going to be bigger than impeachment. Okay? So anyway, please don't be upset. I mean, I felt it after the hearing was over. As an empath, I felt everybody's mood just drop. And it sucked. And I sat back and went, oh, God. We were in such a good place. And then I just felt the energy just fade. And we have to keep that energy up. We have to keep sending out the love and the light. Okay? Do not lose hope. Do not lose heart. He's not going to last. And this isn't going to last. And in 12 years to 15 years, we're all going to be sitting here going, wow, look at where we are now. This is so much better than where we were, because the world is changing, and it's changing for the better. Okay? I love you all, and I'm going to go cook dinner now. Have a wonderful night. Love and blessings to you.